Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 28th May 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, click on the tab post, then you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. Just click on the link. Now you get access to all the training lessons. You just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. Please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions mentioned at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please refer the old messages. You can find the training instructions, or you can also look into the pinned messages to get the training instructions. If you learn the course according to my training instructions, then it will make you become a very good independent trader in the coming days. Okay, now let's get into the report generation. We are going to generate different reports. So first I'm going to generate daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones by finding the stocks near daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones. So starting with the daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. You got 16 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. Axis Bank is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Glenmark is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Indus Tower is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Tata Chemicals is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So total we identified 4 daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. And please remember, you have to analyze the equity charts only, not the future charts. Because I came to know some of you are making these mistakes. You analyze a future chart, then once prices enter into the, you analyze equity chart. Once prices enter into the equity chart, whatever the price, with that price you take the trade in the futures chart. This process I clearly explained in the most recent training lesson. In lesson 29, the last lesson in lesson 29, I have explained this process. Okay, next, daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's check any high liquidity daily supply zones. Now we don't have any high liquidity, high priority, high liquidity zones in this list. We don't have any stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Let us look for high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones. Emphasis is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. Only one 75 minutes high liquidity zone we identified from this list. Okay, next, for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Hindustan Unilever is not valid because it is P-R zone. Now we don't have any 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, this is about Identification of high liquidity zones from daily and 75 minutes time frame. Next, I am going to generate Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain, starting with Nifty, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones, and look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and also look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules to the remaining supply demand zone chain reports. And also, don't forget to pause the video, because I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report before you move on to the next reports. Okay, next. Weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next. Daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Serial number 20 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, pierced zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain, changing the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. So I am generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So we have completed Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain generation. Now we completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Next we will generate sideways, bullish, bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone, bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at daily time frame. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 11 for sideways trade setup, 12 for bullish, bearish. So this is sideways long. I am giving 11. And both these filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. Monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup. Entry time frames are daily demand zones. Okay, next sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. The changes here are supply zone, daily supply zone, and here sideways short trade setup. Now this time both these filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 1 stock. Sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry zone is the daily supply zone. Okay. Next we will generate a bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. So entry time frame, daily demand zone, entry zone. And here we have to select bullish. And in the minimum odd enhanced score, the value should be 12 for bullish or bearish. Now this time both these filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 11 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. All these are all daily demand zones. Out of these 11 daily demand zones, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on zone confluence. First filter, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. LTF daily, ITF is weekly. So daily and weekly demand zone confluence. I enable the filter, applying the filter on the 11 stocks. Now we got 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones. And weekly trend is uptrend in all these stocks, ITF trend. And daily zone overlapped with weekly, and that weekly demand zone having weekly EMA. So let us verify weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. So I'm going back in the EMA confluence at weekly, because daily is overlapped with weekly. So we are checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA or not. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. So these 5 daily demand zones are having more high probability compared to the other stocks. Okay, this is bullish trade setup as per LTF, ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence for monthly income trade. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence, supported stocks. Removing EMA filter, demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am setting. First one already we set daily and weekly. Next, daily and monthly demand zone confluence, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is uptrend in all the first 3 stocks. Fourth one is not there. So if in the first 3, if any of the monthly demand zone having monthly EMA, then the overlapped daily demand zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So let's verify. in the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame. I'm checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Let's filter. We got all the three stocks having monthly trend as uptrend. So that's why these daily demand zones are having even more high probability to get success because they are overlapped with weekly and both together again monthly. And that monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. The same kind of rules we have to follow remaining report generations. So let me quickly generate bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish at daily. I'm selecting bearish, zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhances score 12. We got three stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. PR zones we have to ignore. They should be used only for PR zone strategies. Okay, next we will find a high probability trade setup based on zone confluence. First filter, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, that is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. This filter is applied on the three stocks. All three are filtered. That means in all the three, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. Weekly trend is down in all the three stocks. Let's further filter with weekly EMA confluence. Weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, we got one stock. Probably this daily supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, three filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next, daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got only one stock. This is a PR zone. Okay, next we will look into, this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into weekly income trades. First weekly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone, you're bullish or bearish or sideways at 75 minutes. I'm selecting sideways long, zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhances score 11 for sideways, and also 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So at pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I'm setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, all three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. We got two stocks. Bullish, this is a sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Next, sideways short trade setup. The changes are here 75 minutes supply zone and then here sideways short, and remaining all three filters this time applied to 75 minutes supply zone. We got one stock. So entry time frame is 75 minutes supply zone, sideways short trade setup. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. The changes are 75 minutes demand zone. Here at 75 minutes, I am selecting bullish. In the three filters, only one change we are doing. Minimum order enhances score 12. Now all three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So all these are all 75 minutes demand zones. Okay, out of these 14, how many are having even more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on zone confluence. First filter is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter and applying on the 14 stocks. We got 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all the stocks. So let's further filter based on daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. So the overlapped 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability for the filtered stocks. So 3 stocks are filtered. So in these 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. So that's why all these zones are already tested. Yeah, 3 times, 1 time, this is also 1 time. Okay. Next, we will filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. Demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next 75 with weekly, daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone. Sorry, 75 with daily, both together with weekly demand zone, and weekly trend is uptrend. Only this stock. So if this stock weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, then the overlapped 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA confluence at weekly, checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be only uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So this one stock is filtered. That way this 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. Provide a lesson 20 concept should support. Otherwise zone will be violated. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12, and 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So at the pierced count, 75 minutes, minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. Out of these 6 75 minute supply zone, how many are having more high probability to get success? Let's filter based on the zone confluence, supply zone confluence. First filter is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. Enabling the filter, applying on the 5 stocks. All 5 are filtered. In all these 5 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all the stocks. Let's verify how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. So 3 stocks are filtered. So these 3 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one already enabled. X75 with weekly, daily with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, the 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all the stocks except the third one. So ignore the third one. In the remaining stocks, if any weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, then these overlapped 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. So in the weekly, in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I'm checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA. At the same time, weekly trend we are checking, it should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So two stocks are filtered. So these two 75-minute supply zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So this is a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next we will generate daily income trade reports. Daily income trade sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone demand zone. Bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways. And also 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So at 15 minutes, minimum value 0, maximum value 0 in this pierced count. So with this, we got 5 stocks. So these are all sideways trade setup for daily income trade, sideways long trade setup. So entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. See some of these stocks, how they tested 8 times sideways. This one is tested 6 times. And this one is already tested once. Okay, next sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are 15 minutes supply zone and here sideways short trade setup. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. So for sideways short trade setup for daily income trade, entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. Okay. Next we will look into bullish trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are 15 minutes demand zone. Here bullish or bearish at 15 minutes. I am selecting bullish and a minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. With these changes, we got 10 stocks. They are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 10-15 minutes demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on zone confluence. First filter is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter, applying the filter on the 10 stocks. We got 9 stocks. In these 9, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all the stocks, ITF trend. So let's verify if any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. We got 2 stocks. So these two 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is enabled already. Next 15 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Again, both together overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all the stocks except the last one. Ignore the last one. Remaining 3, if daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, in that case, the overlapped 15 minutes demand zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, we are checking daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Let's filter. We got two stocks. So these two 15 minutes demand zones might be having even more high probability to get success. So this is about a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I'm selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. And also 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. Bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. So this is already tested 3 times. Okay, out of these 4, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Setting the filter on the 4 stocks. We got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in all the stocks. So let's verify if 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So by setting this filter, we got only 1 stock. That way, this 75 minute supply zone might be having more high probability. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. That is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in only 1 stock. Let's verify if this daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So none of the stocks are having daily EMA confluence. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will generate hourly income trade reports. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. Selecting at 5 minutes, sideways long trade setup, zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 11, and also 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, 5 minutes, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 4 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Okay, next let us look into sideways short trade setup for hourly income trade. The changes are 5 minute supply zone. Next here sideways short trade setup. That's it. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks for sideways short trade setup. Okay, next we will look into bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. The changes are 5 minutes demand zone. Here bullish. And also one more change on the filters. Minimum order enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks. Bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Out of these 3, let us verify how many are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. All 3 are filtered. That means all these 5 minutes demand zones overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. And 15 minutes trend is up in all the stocks. Let's verify any 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. None of the stocks are having daily EMA confluence. Next, we'll look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. Remove EMA filter. Demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one already enabled. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes. 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Let's verify any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. So none of the stocks are having EMA confluence. So this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Now bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish or sideways. At 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhancer score 12, and 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. The pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. We got 11 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. So total we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. By applying the filter, we got 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minutes supply zone. Because 15 minutes trend is a downtrend, let's further filter based on EMA confluence on the 15 minutes. That is 15 minutes supply zone with daily EMA confluence. We did not get any stocks. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 5 minutes and 15 minutes. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. So in these 3 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. But 75 minutes trend is down in only one stock. So that's why let's check this stock. 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. And also trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So none of the stocks are filtered. That means none of the hourly income trade stocks are having EMA confluence in bullish or bearish. Okay, this is about hourly income trade. Now we have generated all the income trade reports. Next, we will find the stocks near demand and supply zones for all the time frames except daily and 75 minutes. Because daily and 75 minutes stocks near demand and supply zones already generated in the beginning of the video. So let's start with the yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone, no stocks. Near half yearly supply zone, also no stocks. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 1 stock. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many are having EMA confluence? So at quarterly time frame, quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. Can be up or down. So we got 5 stocks. Okay, next quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 18 stocks are filtered. Out of these 18, how many supply zones are having EMA confluence? Let's verify. At quarterly time frame, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA, and also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 2 stocks. This is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 14 stocks. We can further filter based on EMA confluence on monthly time frame. That is monthly demand zone with monthly EMA, and also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 5 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 39 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So we got 14 stocks. All these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 18 stocks are filtered. Out of these 18, how many monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence? Let's verify. Trend on the weekly. Some mistake I did here, sorry. Here weekly time frame we have to check how many weekly demand zones having weekly EMA Confluence, and also trend on the weekly should not be sideways, it can be up or down, because this is a weekly time frame inside weekly demand zone. So now 13 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got several stocks, first 15 stocks in the list. Let me quickly scroll the list down for the reference purpose. Later we will further filter with EMA Confluence. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 71 stocks are filtered. Out of these 71, how many are having weekly supply zones with weekly EMA Confluence? And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways, it should be up or down. With these filters, now the list is reduced. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. So this is about weekly time frame. Daily time frame we already generated in the beginning. So next time frame 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. 18 stocks are filtered. Next, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame 75 minutes we already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to 15 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Next, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. So now we have generated all the reports for finding the stocks near demand and supply zones. In the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 223, 233. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for our further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.